So, David, you've had a long, great career, and the other day you were saying, well, I didn't know how it would go. I just, every time I got an opportunity, I do what felt right, and if I auditioned and it didn't feel good, then, there was no sense in, trying to fight through, become something I'm not, basically. And you work with a lot of great artists, and there's a huge list on your website, davidrosenthal.com.
Shameless plug.
That has some tons of history and your touring dates and photos and everything. And what are some of the industry career goals and maybe achievements? I guess I'd say, what achievements do you think you've had in your life so far with what you're doing? I mean, you're a guy that's been on the biggest stages in the world, and with some of the most famous artists, including many people know who you are individually as a performer artist. You've had your own bands. You've had done all kinds of things. I suppose for all of us, if somebody said, what are the greatest things you've done or in your life, you'd be like, wow, I'd have to think about that. What do you think?
It's tough. It's tough. I couldn't single out any one event, although I would say pretty high on the list, if not at the top of the list, was the Shea Stadium event. It was really pretty spectacular and exhilarating, especially having grown up there and having been to Mets games there, and that was really pretty amazing. And I think the documentary did a great job of capturing, as did the DVD, capturing what it felt like to be there.
Yeah.
So that was definitely way up there. I mean, a lot of the shows I've done with Billy have been fantastic. We recently broke a record and sold out 12 nights at Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
And that's really cool because, the Madison Square Garden is where I used to go to see concerts when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So it's to do something like that, it's really kind of special, and with such a great artist as well.
And very, very much loved by all audiences, but especially the hometown.
in the New York area, tri-state
New York areas,
Northeast,
like,
yeah. Another concert that we did was really cool. We played at the Coliseum in Rome with Billy. We had it was a free concert, and they had 500,000 people. They were just lined the streets, and we played right, like the backdrop to the stage was the Coliseum.
Wow.
And I just got such a kick out of that. I remember in the afternoon at Soundcheck having my keyboard rig there, which is like so ultimate and high tech. Yeah. And then right behind me is the Coliseum that thousands of years ago was the most high tech thing in its day.
Right.
And it was just really an interesting cultural contrast. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. So that was a really cool gig. I love that I've been able to play all over the world. The orchestral thing, the concerto with Yngwie Malmsteen was a highlight to hear something that I'd written. He was the composer, but that I arranged and orchestrated, I guess.
It's must be very proud.
It's really cool to hear that.
And also hear the audience response. And
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those types of things are fun. And to get to meet some of the people who really had a big influence on me. Tomita, Japanese synthesist, was, I heard Tomita's pictures at an exhibition when I was 13 or 14, and I was like, that's it. That's what I want to do. I got to get a synthesizer, and I want to learn how to use it. And so when I got to meet him in Japan, that was very inspiring. One of my all-time favorite bands was Happy the Man, and I had a chance to make a record with them because they did
one of the staff was like, well, what has he done? And I was like, well, I listed off, and I said, Happy the Man. He was like, what? I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. It's a great following that the band has. And when they decided to reform and do a reunion in the late 90s, around the year 2000, the original keyboard player didn't want to do it. And I had become friends with the guys over the years, and I was like, look no further. I would want nothing more but to make an album with you guys. So we did a bunch of shows and did that was really cool for me.